Hello everyone, I'm Bryant. Let's go to continue.
By Sumit. How do you stop taking yourself and start enjoying the process without losing the passion for your goal?
Hold on. Submit.
Sumit. How do you stop taking yourself and start enjoying the process without losing the passion for your goal?
How to stop taking yourself? You mean how do you stop taking yourself seriously and start enjoying the process without losing the passions of your goal? I think I'm doing it. I would say understanding for one thing. Understand life. It's really a very broad statement. Understand life and understand things. And what I mean by that is understand why things work the way they work. If you understand how things work the way they work, you won't get frustrated at it. So for example, if you see someone that's just always angry and always yelling and just moving all over the place, you're not going to be mad at that person, even if he starts yelling at you, because you know that's the way he is. You're like, he just wakes up like this, man, without losing the passion for your goal. I think it's okay to have passion for your goals, but just don't expect the reward. Or if it doesn't turn out the way you want, understand why. That way, again, you're not upset or angry about it. I guess my biggest thing is understanding, and it helps me a lot. I'm not saying it's the ultimate goal, obviously, because clearly I'm not enlightened yet, but it is a method.
See, I know this has become a very goal-oriented society. I think when I was conversing with you there, I was kind of talking about this. You know, every year in the month of November, we have a 4-day business event called the Insight. So we limit it to about 200, 220 people. The top CEOs from across the world come. Some of the top business leaders come. This is a very unique module where we pick up some super successful people and new successes. We kind of break down their success into a lesson plan and all these people go through that. It's a program that's on. So, every time, inevitably, almost every time, somebody will always ask this question. Sadhguru, we pick up the best people from the best universities. Every year we have to upgrade their salaries. In spite of that, our organizations don't work as well as your organization. What is the secret? And we can see you did not pick them up from the best universities, and above all, you don't pay them anything. They're all volunteers. But everything seems to be working better. You must come in.
Because they're doing it because they want to, not because they kind of have to. People go to universities because they want to and have to. The reason why they want to is because they want to make good money. So in order to make good money in their head, they have to.
And see how our events work and how the yoga center works. All volunteers. That means nobody's trained for the job. They just have enormous enthusiasm. They're not trained for the job, they're not qualified. And you can't fire them for inefficiency because they're volunteers. How to fire them? You try to manage a situation like this, you'll go nuts in 3 days. Believe me, flat. But I'll not go crazy because it's a different process. So I said, see, this is all the fundamental differences. I have continuously worked with people to make them devoted to the process. You guys are dedicated to the goal. Whatever you think is your goal right now, probably in 5 years it will not even be relevant to you, all right? So you are wasting your life going in a direction which may not mean a damn thing to you in a little bit of time. Possible. Unless you don't grow, you freeze. then the same damn thing will mean something to you all the time.
That's a very interesting way of putting that. It's kind of, I think it was said before a few times. It's kind of, and I may have said this once, and that is, how did I put it? I'm going to pause and think about this real quick. I guess this is it. It's the fact that don't worry about making the money now. Make sure that the process is, you're enjoying the process. Then money will come. So basically, it's something actually I thought about with my hobby shop that I go to versus the one I went to before. The person in the hobby shop stayed late and let us stay there and play the games over there well past the closing time, like 4 in the morning. Crazy. And he, he did this. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but and he also gave us big prizes and all that. And I don't think he was barely making any money. I'm pretty sure with the amount of prizes he was giving away. But now I look in his the Facebook page and everything, and I see that he's now in a bigger building, so much bigger building, and so many tables for everyone to play. And it's really crazy. He just, I think he just made sure that everyone was having fun. That when they go there, making sure everything's in stock and giving away good prizes, and just people kept coming to his shop. And now he's in a huge store, and he doesn't have to work anymore. He hires people to do the job for him. He really put in a lot of effort to make sure that it's done properly. That way, it's set to succeed. I guess it's a little bit different, but it's something similar, the same. It's just the fact that make sure that the process is good, and the money will come. Now, I guess it's not guaranteed. I guess I always say there's nothing guaranteed, but as long as you're consistent with what you do, you enjoy what you do, and if it's really good, people will come, the money will come.
Otherwise, if you're evolving and growing, what means a lot to you today may not mean anything in another 5–10 years' time. Possible or no? So this goal business you must leave. Who are you to set the goals? Because your goals in some way are related to the world, isn't it? Why are you setting the goals? Right now, there is a situation. Whatever is your area of engagement, you involve yourself in that. If you do your best with what's happening today, tomorrow will be better or no? Hello? This entire process is about being devoted to the process. What will happen to me? What will happen to me? Where will I go? Where will I go? Shall I reveal the secret to you? Yes. The last scene of your life is you'll be dead. That's where you will go. Where else do you think you'll go? It is just that how wonderfully you conduct the process of life, isn't it so? Hello? You're looking at life as a race. See, the moment you think of a goal, you want to get ahead of him, isn't it? It's a race. If you look at life as a race, you must get to the finish line first. This is not a race. Who told you this is a race? Do you want to get to the finish line before everybody else? No. Life is in its process and its detail, isn't it? How deeply you're engaged with the details of today will determine the quality of what we create tomorrow. Yes? If you do not engage yourself with the process of today, if you succeed in your goal, you will be miserable. If you do not succeed, of course, you will be miserable. Just see, this is something that I'm constantly speaking to business leaders around the world. See, one thing most business leaders are proving to the world is that success is a painful thing.
A lot of sacrifices. Now, I'm sure the hobby shop that I used to go to did, and there's been a lot of people. I watched like a Jubilee. They did rich versus poor or something like that, and the people who became rich really, really young, they sacrificed. That's what they say. Their social life to become successful where they're at. The key difference there, though, is that if you learn something along the lines of Eastern philosophy, like Advaita Vedanta, you will not be suffering through that process. You can be goal-oriented and not suffer. It's very possible.
Success is a terrible thing. I was just talking to a group of board members of one of the top companies in India. This is a multinational company. The board meeting, all of them should come with jackets and ties for the board meeting. I said, see, people make you board members because they put their money. Common people have put their money, nation's economy is involved with the success of your company and variety of things. But they made you the board members because they believe you guys are sensible people. You will do something that they cannot do with their own money, isn't it? Isn't it the reason why somebody invests in somebody's company? That you are going to do something with my money that I am not able to do by myself, that's the idea. But you guys come with a jacket and tie in 40 degrees centigrade. I don't think you got any sense in you. Hello? This is your mindset. What kind of decisions are you taking? See, in 40 degrees centigrade, you have a necktie. Should you not display sense in every aspect of your life? Can you be just sensible in one thing, rest of it you can do in a stupid way? Is it possible? If you're sensible, the very way you walk, you conduct yourself, everything you will conduct yourself sensibly, isn't it? So this is very important. This is because we become goal-oriented. No, you must become process-oriented. If you are devoted to the process, goal will happen. In India, this is a big question, everywhere we go, the last question will be, Sadhguru, that's okay, but Indian team, how can we beat Pakistan? Cricket team. I say, don't bloody try to beat Pakistan, for that there is Indian army. If you want to win the cricket game, don't beat Pakistan, bloody hit the ball. Hello? Yes or no? You hit the ball. If you hit the ball well, you may win. I want to beat Pakistan, of course you're going to make a fool of yourself.
Very interesting. I thought about this. Maybe you get so goal-oriented that you end up beating Pakistan. But then because you're so focused on beating Pakistan, you lose to every other team. Your goal should be to be good. Or a good team. But because you focus yourself so entirely on a very, very hyper-specific goal that you lose track of what it means to play cricket, how to be a good player, how to be good overall as opposed to just one specific team. So, and I guess this goes along the lines of this process, is that don't worry about beating any team. Get good at the game, the basic process of the game, get good at it, and then winning will come.
So, we want to get to the goal without handling the process. Life does not work like that. If you want flowers in your garden, you don't have to buy perfume and go and spray to the roots. You throw filth at the roots, flowers will come, isn't it? Isn't this the process?
I don't know if you want to put poop, filth, flowers inside the house. I don't think there's enough good I understand what he's trying to say though, but it's just kind of funny. I just think of some person in their house like, yep, just got some fresh manure. Got some fresh manure here. I'm done.
Do you become a good gardener because you sit in… I'm sure a whole lot of people in New York City are doing this. They sit in front of their plants every day. They meditate, flowers, flowers, flowers. Doesn't work like that. You take care of the soil, the manure, the water and the sunlight, flowers will come. Consequence is not your business, process is your business, isn't it? If you do the right things with what's happening right now, consequence is coming. If you get engaged with the consequence, you will become miserable. Whether it comes or it doesn't come, both ways you will become miserable.
So I think we have about 30 minutes to take audience questions. If anybody has, just shoot right there.
Namaskar, Sadhguru. My name is Radha Kulkarni, and I'm a Columbia alum and studied policy here, not business. And I work at the United Nations now. But before I get to my question, your talks are both inspiring and grounding at the same time, and that's a difficult balance. So thank you so much for coming to Columbia and speaking with us. Much appreciated. So my question to you, Sadhguru, is that there's so much suffering in the world. Like when I travel on work or otherwise, one observes that on the one hand, there is even lack of basic peace, or there's so much violence, and on the other hand, there is even lack of basic resources and abject poverty. So I would be curious to hear your perspective on why does every single person have such different starting points in life, which would mean like a child based in Africa doesn't even have water and is perhaps will die of malnutrition, has a very different starting point than, say, a billionaire's child who is perhaps sitting somewhere in the middle of North America. So why this disparity? And then how and where it sits in the larger scheme of things, or in the cycle of the cosmos or life, if there is, if that's how we call it. And also then that gets me to the question of then who are we?
Well, I think those who follow Advaita Vedanta will say probably karma to some degree, but also obviously our surrounding and circumstances. If you're born in a rich family, you're just born. My belief is you're born in a rich family, you're just born in a rich family. There's again, my belief in karma is what you develop in this life, not something that's tagged along to you. I don't like the fact that, for example, you're blamed for the things that your ancestors have done. That's in some sense like rebirth of karma, because that thing that's passed down your family is passed down your family is being passed down from you from your previous lives as well. So they're about the same in my mind. It's a little difficult. It's gonna say a little difficult to answer, but you're born where you're born. You don't control where you're born or your circumstances. So if you happen to be born poor in an African nation, and you happen to be in an area where it's very malnutritious and no clean water, it's not anyone that's anything has done in my opinion. Or whether you're born in some rich family wherever in the world, in the Himalayas or in the deep down depths of the sea, wherever you're born, maybe Mars. But yeah, it's really weird to ask that question, at least from my mentality, because again, I'm wondering if she believes in karma, and that's the reason why she's asking to see if Sadhguru believes in karma as well. Kind of like, I believe in karma. Does Sadhguru believe in karma? Will he reinforce my beliefs? Maybe I don't know.
That's a very Indian question.
I'm curious
You
too,
must
but
know. I must tell you this because you're also working at the UN. We were trekking in Tibet about 3 years ago. Every year we trek there. 3 years ago when I was going, there was people from over 40 countries trekking with me. So, one Indian person who lives in United States stood up to ask a question, and the question went on for over 8 minutes. You've been very brief. So the question was going on, and all this international audience, their heads were spinning because they're not grasping the question. Then I said, please relax, this is an Indian question. Because we have practiced asking questions for over 10,000–12,000 years. This is a nation where even when so-called divine entities came, they could not give us any commandments because all we had was questions.
That's so good.
Relentless questioning. Then one Chinese lady who was working in United Nations for more than 30 years, she said, Sadhguru, even in those 30 years when I worked in United Nations, only Indians asked questions. Anyway, so why there is disparity? I thought you know the answer. There is disparity because those who have don't care about those who don't have. It's very simple. Those who have want to take more and more. Those who don't have, just don't have. There are various aspects. It found expression in many different ways, started with imperialism, and even now we're always seeing, every nation is seeing how we can take the maximum resource from everywhere else, isn't it? So, we know the source of the problem. What is the solution? The question. So, solution-wise, see, in 2016, they are telling me, some studies say, that in 2016 we produced enough food for 18.6 billion people. But we were only 7.1 billion people on that day. But still, 35% of the planet is malnourished. You were talking, you know the statistics better than me, you're in the United Nations. When we are producing 3 times more food than we actually need for the population, still 1/3 of the population is starving. Millions of children die of malnourishment all over. Not just in Africa, even in India. India has the highest malnourished population right now. You know, it's an evolutionary process. You know Charles Darwin? He told you that you were all monkeys, not me, okay? He told you were all monkeys and you became human. And today, the genetic scientists are saying that the difference between you and a chimpanzee in terms of DNA is only 1.23%. 1.23% is not much of a difference, isn't it? Huh? Hello? Not much of a difference, isn't it? So physiologically, that's how close we are to a chimpanzee. But in terms of our intelligence and awareness, we are worlds apart from a chimpanzee. Right now, largely, the first question started with that. Largely our identities are still biological. If you say my race, it's biology. If you say my family, it's biology, isn't it? Largely human identities are still biological. When you're biological, you're set within a small boundary. And when you're biological, your instinct of self-preservation is at its highest. In your intelligence or in your brain structure, there is something called as a reptilian brain, which is approximately the size of your fist here. So that is still working like a reptile, fixing boundaries all the time and trying to protect that boundary, which finds expression in so many different ways. But there's another dimension of intelligence, which is the cerebral cortex, which makes you a human being today, which thinks and struggles with these issues. If you were a tiger, you wouldn't care that, you know, a goat's child is hungry, you wouldn't care because after all it's your food, all right? But once you become a human being, you actually don't care, but still one part of you which makes you human makes you struggle. You need to empower that. As a humanity, we need to empower that your instinct of self-preservation must go down and the longing to expand, which is always there within us. See, today it is finding expression as ambition, conquest, or maybe simply shopping. What is this all about? You want to be something more than what you are right now, isn't it? Yes? Now the question is, if you become something more today, tomorrow are you fully settled? No, you want to be something more and something more and something more. So you seem to be going towards some kind of goal in installments. I'm asking you right now, how much more will settle you for good? What do you think? How much more? Suppose I make you the queen of this planet. Will you be fulfilled? I'm asking. I'm asking you. Don't look at me hopefully. I will not commit such a blunder. I will not commit such a blunder, but I'm asking you, suppose we put a throne on the North Pole and made you sit there, the queen of the planet, would you be fulfilled? No. You will look at the stars, you will look at the galaxies. This is the nature of the human being, because there is something in this human being that doesn't like boundaries,
But yet we said it
wants
ourselves.
to expand limitlessly. But right now the consciousness is constipated. You know what's constipation? That means things happen little by little. You want to expand, but you want to do it in small measure, as if you're going to live here for 1,000,000 years. So you have to move, every human being, all these business students, you must move from your personal ambition to a larger vision. Ambition means constipated expression of growth. Vision means seamless expression of growth. This must happen to you. How much should you grow? You should not determine this. You must gas yourself fully, make yourself competent, enhance your competence, let's see how far it goes. Yes? Let us see how far it goes. Why should you fix the limit? Because whatever limits and whatever goals you set are just an exaggeration of what little you know today, isn't it so? Huh? Yes or no? Today what little you know, you are exaggerating it and thinking this is ambition. No, this is constipation. I know being in the university, now you passed out, being in the United Nations, you have much knowledge about many things.
Passed out. I was thinking in America, passed out means like you blank, you pass out, you're not conscious anymore. But I guess he meant like you passed out as in you pass and so you're out of university.
But all your knowledge, even if you have studied the libraries on this planet, all your knowledge is a minuscule compared to what this cosmic space is, isn't it? If you identify with this minuscule knowledge that you have, you will become a minuscule. Because you're such a minuscule, endlessly you will feel insecure about anything and everything that's happening to you. See, he lives in Brooklyn, still nobody stabbed him. What are you insecure about?
Jeez.
In yoga, we have another system. We call this the intelligence of ignorance. We always identify with our ignorance because our knowledge is so small. Our ignorance is boundless. Yes or no? Huh? What we do not know is boundless, isn't it? What we know is so little. So you identify with what you do not know, then your life will expand rapidly. Your intelligence will stay alert through your life. If you identify with knowledge, your intelligence will sleep and you'll make a fool of yourself with a big degree. Yes, it's very important. If your human intelligence is on, it is very natural to be inclusive. If your reptilian brain is on, it is very natural to be exclusive, to put up walls. So as a human society, as nations, we have put up walls and walls and walls for everything, isn't it? The very damn marketplace is a big wall, it's a Wall Street, all right. The markets are controlled so that everybody does not thrive. Yes or no? Markets are controlled, industry is controlled so that everybody does not thrive. Anyway, you didn't ask me what happened to this food that we grow for 18.6 billion people. You must find out, you're in the UN. You must find out, all of you must find out why we produce food 3 times than what we need and still 1/3 of the humanity is starving. Why? Shouldn't your humanity want to find out? Please, you must find out.
I think I can answer some portion of that, perhaps. I can assume that it's because For one, some food goes bad. It sits on the shelf, it doesn't get sold, so it goes bad. At home, it goes bad. Some people cook food, forget about it, goes spoiled, they throw it away. Then you have governmental video done over with now. I'm just talking and answering this last part. I think the other portion is sanitary reasons, and I think that's the right word, sanitary reasons, because I remember, I think watching a YouTube video watching a YouTube video where there's gas stations. They make food there. I don't know if you want to eat it. I have. It wasn't too bad. I didn't die. Anyways, but they make food. Sometimes they make a lot, and there's bakeries that sometimes make a lot of food too. And they take what they can home, I think, or some. It's like a real. I think it's gas stations where they get sometimes they can cook stuff, but if it sits there for too long, they cannot give it to they legally cannot give it to their employees, and they legally cannot donate the food. They have to throw it away because of concerns about the food. It's been sitting there for a little bit, but a lot of people saying it's not technically bad. You can still eat it for about a day or two, but because of government rules, they have to remove it and throw it away, even though it's technically still good. So that's one portion of the answer. The next portion, again, is about people, buying it, just letting it go into waste. And then you look at, I guess, same thing with the stores, where they buy a whole bunch, and sometimes it gets left in the back, and the stockers put fresh product in the front, never bringing the stuff in the back forward. So the stuff that stays in the back for so long, that gets wasted. And also, the things that don't sell, they expire on the shelves because there's, it's still technically good until it's not. Then when it's not, they have to throw it away. So that could be part of it too. So again, it's mostly, I think a lot of the food is going to waste, whether it be expired in grocery stores, because they will try to sell it until they cannot legally sell it anymore, until they have to throw it away, because they bought it and they want to try to make as much money off of it as possible before they have to throw it away. And then by that time, they cannot legally donate it. Same thing with people, when they buy stuff, they forget about it, cook it, whatever, maybe leave it in the shelf, and it expires. Then you got like a whole bunch of stores who cooks the food. If it doesn't sell, they again have to throw it away. They cannot donate it or anything like that. There's been a few people who have fought to try to donate bread and stuff like that. At the very least, things that may last a little bit longer, maybe slightly stale, but still good. It's food. And try to find a way to donate it. The reason why being is because you could be sued if someone gets sick based off the food, that if they eat your food and they get sick, they can I think they can technically sue you for, I don't know all the legal system stuff, but there's a possibility of that, and that's the reason why they have to throw it away. They don't want to risk being sued for millions of dollars for a 45-cent hot dog or something like that, So it's better just to lose a couple $100 than to chance it on a couple $100 million. So now, like, even these stores though, they still do donate to I won't say war-torn areas, but like natural disaster areas. Walmart and all these other places, they've donated. You've always seen pallets of water, food, and stuff being donated to areas that's been hit by like natural disasters. So anyways, it's not all bad. But yeah, I wonder I want to know what the real answer is. I'm pretty sure what I said is part of the answer, but probably not the whole of the answer. So anyways, that's my reaction for this one. The next part will be the last one. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.